Today we're going to be making this creamy chicken stew, perfect for a chilly autumn night. Let's get right into it. Let's go make it. You know the deal. First thing we're going to do is gather our ingredients. For the produce, we got a large yellow onion, some mini peppers, but you could use a bell pepper, some celery, and some carrots. For the onions, we're going to give a medium dice on those. I mean, this is a stew after all, so you don't have to worry about the onions looking perfect and being perfectly unison and chopped. Just give them a nice medium chop. Next, I got a couple sticks of celery washed and dried, and I'm going to keep it simple with about a 1/4 inch slice on all of those, and then I'm just going to add it right to the bowl with our onions. Next, we're going with our carrots. Now, all I had in the fridge was baby carrots, but that's okay. We're going to work with what we got. So I'm going to grab about a handful, probably about a cup worth of these baby carrots. Now, if you have the regular carrots, the large carrots, I would go with about 2 large carrots. Now, you could either dice these, or me, I'm going to give them sort of like a rough chop, because when I have any type of stew and the carrots are nice and soft, I like to bite into a nice sized carrot, so I'm just going to give them a nice rough chop. Add them right to the bowl with the onions and the celery. Now onto our peppers. Again, I'm using these smaller peppers because it's all I have in my fridge. Again, use what you have on hand. This recipe is very forgiving. But if you wanted to go with the bell pepper, I would use 1 red bell pepper. Very simple. We're just going to give these a nice small dice, but very important, add them to a separate bowl because we're going to be adding them later on. We're not going to be adding them with our onions and peppers and carrots. Next, it's potato time. We're going to be using about 4 medium russet potatoes. Now I'm going to peel mine, but if you want more of like a rustic look in your chicken stew, you can leave them in with the skins on. Just make sure you wash them really good because you know that's kind of gross. They do grow in the dirt. So I'm going to give all my potatoes a quick peel. Then I'm going to cut my potatoes into some fairly bite-sized chunks. Then I'm going to add them to a bowl of warm water while I cut up and peel the rest, or peel and then cut up the rest. Once our potatoes are all cut, I'm going to take this bowl over to the sink and rinse and wash those potatoes until the water runs clear. Then I'm going to fill it back up with cold water and let that sit until we need it. Okay, it's finally chicken time. Now, this original recipe did call for about 1.5 pounds of chicken breast diced, but I wanted a little bit more flavor in that meat and a little bit more flavor overall in the stew, so I'm going to go with chicken thighs. Here I got about 4 boneless chicken thighs. We're going to take our chicken thighs and brush on a little bit of olive oil. Then we're going to season these thighs up, something proper. First seasoning going down, I got some basic salt and pepper. We're going to generously cover that thing. Next, we're going down with the onion powder. You know I love my onion powder. After that, we're going down with some paprika. After all your seasonings is on, take your brush again and brush that down. Really get that seasoning into every nook and cranny on those chicken thighs. After that, flip your chicken thighs over. Then you know we're going down on the other side with the same thing, all the same seasonings, and brush all of them in to get inside all those nook and crannies. Next, I got a large heavy bottom pot over medium heat. Once that's nice and hot, we're going to add a little bit more olive oil, let that heat up. Then we're going to start adding our chicken pieces in. We're going to do 2 at a time as to not overcrowd the pan. We're going to cook our chicken thighs for about 7 minutes per side. That should be an adequate enough time to make sure, 1, that we get a good crust on the bottom of our chicken, and 2, to make sure our chicken thighs are all the way cooked through. Once the last of our chicken thighs are cooked through, place them in a bowl and let them sit on the side to rest. Now, you see all this beautiful, lovely fond on the bottom of this pan? That's exactly what you're looking for. We're going to add our onions, carrots, and celery right to this pan with about a knob of butter. Give that a good stir, and we're going to cook this until our vegetables are nice and tender, about 4 to 5 minutes. Make sure you scrape the bottoms of that pan to release some of that fond. That's good stuff, okay? That's pure, concentrated flavor. Vegetables are nice and soft, and you scraped up all of that fond on the bottom. They should be looking something like this. Then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. We're going to mix that in and cook it for about 1 to 2 minutes to get that raw edge off. Next, we're going to deglaze with about 1/4 cup of white wine. Mix that in. Then we're going to add in 4 cups of chicken stock. Give that a really good mix. After our chicken stock is mixed in really well, we're going to add in our potatoes with just a little bit of that water, and we're going to add in our peppers from before. Give that a good mix. Put this on low and let it simmer while we cut up our chicken thighs that have been resting this whole entire time. Now, this chicken looks and smells amazing already as is, and I can eat it right now as is, but trust me, it's going to be 10 times better when it's finished in our stew. So if you can resist the urge of eating all your chicken now, we're going to cut it into nice bite-sized pieces, add it back to the bowl with all the juices from before. We're going to add our now bite-sized chicken thigh pieces right to our stew with any juices that accumulated. Those delicious juices, I might add. Then we're going to add about 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning and about 1 to 2 teaspoons of some thyme. Mix those seasonings in. Then we're going to cover this, and then we're going to let this simmer for about 30 to 45 minutes until those potatoes are nice and tender. Only a couple things left to do now. Once your potatoes are nice and tender, we're going to add in 1 cup of frozen peas. Turn off the heat And we're gonna add in 4 ounces of softened room temperature cream cheese. Trust me, it sounds weird, but this is gonna make it nice and creamy. Once everything is mixed in nice and well, we're gonna cover this with the lid again and let this sit for 5 to 10 minutes with the heat off. And that's it. Once your stew has rested, it's time to ladle some of our chicken stew into a bowl, and it's ready to enjoy. And this came out so good, creamy, thick. The potatoes were nice and soft. That chicken was amazing. I really hope you guys give this a try. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, hit me with a like, comment your thoughts below. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. It helps me out more than you can know. All right, y'all. Till next time. Bye. What's up everyone? Today I'm going to be recreating one of my favorite dishes from Red Lobster, the infamous honey barbecue chicken. Now they don't have this dish anymore, at least in the Red Lobsters around me, but this dish was awesome. It was 2 chicken breasts dusted with a smoky, spicy barbecue rub. And how ironic is it that I'm remaking this dish with my barbecue rub inside a Red Lobster novelty margarita glass? I'll leave a video and also the ingredients for this barbecue rub in the description below. Now where was I? Yes, serenading about this dish. So the chicken breast was grilled, then it was served over some creamy mashed potatoes topped with a tangy mustard-based barbecue sauce, garnished with pico de gallo and drizzled with more Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. Let's start with the garlic mash. Quick time. Get about 5 potatoes or about 1 pound. Peel them, cut them into big sized chunks, put them in your water, wash and rinse until that water runs clear, fill it back up with cold water. Then I like to add 2 garlic cloves peeled and slightly crushed, 2 bay leaves, and a little bit of salt and pepper. Boil until fork tender over medium heat, then drain, remove the 2 bay leaves but not the garlic cloves. Add your butter, your milk, and your seasonings, usually salt and pepper. And the trick to restaurant style mashed potatoes, just when you think you got enough butter, or if you think it's enough butter, add more. Now there's many different tools you can use to get creamy smooth mashed potatoes: an immersion blender, a potato ricer, a potato masher. Me, I'm just gonna use a hand mixer. Potato. See what I did there? Back to our beautiful chicken that's been marinating in our barbecue rub. I'm gonna cook mine outside on the flat top. Once that internal temperature reaches 165, I'm gonna pull them off and let them rest. Okay, while our chicken is resting, we're gonna make the sauce. Now this is the closest I've come to recreating that sauce, and I think this is how it goes. We're gonna add 1/4 cup of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, 1/4 cup of yellow mustard, equal parts, and about a tablespoon of honey. Mix that all up, and then right before serving, we're gonna microwave this sauce for about 30 seconds in the microwave. Okay, and it's time to assemble. We're gonna go down with a little bit of that garlic mash, some butter roasted asparagus, and boom, 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 the people's champ, that winner chicken dinner. A little bit of sauce action with that honey barbecue sauce we made. Then we're gonna garnish with some of that fresh pico de gallo we made. I'll leave the link for that video in the description. And last but not least, not by far, don't ever say it's least, we're gonna drizzle with some of that Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. And that's it, what I'm calling my version of the honey barbecue chicken. It's sweet and savory, tangy and smoky, creamy with those garlic mashed potatoes. And you know I had to go in for a bite of this. Grab my fork, get a little bit of everything on the fork, no rookie moves around here. And this tasted exactly like it, just like I remembered. I think I hit the nail on the head, or the head on the nail, the hammer on the nail. How does it go? Then I was gonna go for a bite of asparagus, and I was like, no, I don't want it. I want more of that chicken. All right, everyone, that's it for this video. That's it for me. My kitchen is wrecked, as you can see behind me. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Do you want a chicken thigh that's juicy, crispy on the outside, and flavorful? You gotta try these oven roasted chicken thighs. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put our oven on roast for 400 degrees. If your oven doesn't have roast, just put it on bake. It's all good. Okay, next, our chicken. We got some bone-in chicken thighs. We got them laid out on some paper towels. Then we're gonna go along with some paper towels and pat these dry. You want your chicken nice and dry, like really dry. Flip them little birdies over. Same thing on the other side, pat them dry. Okay, next we're gonna get all our chicken thighs into a bowl. Okay, next we're gonna add some olive oil to our bowl, and keep it light with the olive oil. You don't wanna go too crazy with the olive oil. Nice amount. I'm gonna give this a toss, so all of our pieces can get coated with that olive oil. Okay, perfect. Next we're gonna do seasonings. Now as far as seasonings, really anything will go. I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna go with a little bit of black pepper, some kosher salt, some garlic and parsley, and a little bit of chili powder. Just a dash more olive oil. We're gonna give this a good mix. Okay, over at the stove, we got a baking sheet lined with some aluminum foil. We're gonna go right over that with a wire rack. If you don't have a wire rack, just put your chicken right on the aluminum foil. Right over our rack, we're gonna go in with a little bit of cooking spray, just so our chicken don't stick. Okay, now, very important. Chicken on, skin side down. You'll see why in a bit, but for the first 20 minutes, the chicken is going in the oven, skin side down. Okay, all our chicken is on our rack. So now this is going into our oven, roast 400 degrees for 10 minutes with the skin side down. Okay, after 20 minutes, we're gonna take our chicken out. Now we're gonna flip it so the skin side is up. Now our chicken is going back in for another 20 minutes, 400 degrees. Okay, y'all, so here's our chicken right out the oven. Okay, so I left the chicken in for the initial first 20 minutes with the skin side up. Then I put it back in for another 15 minutes with the skin side up, so that skin can get nice and crispy. This is one of my favorite ways to make chicken thighs. Juicy on the inside, crispy on the outside, and all flavorful. Hey everyone, today we are going to make some chicken chili. Admittedly, this is my first time making this recipe, but I have a feeling it's going to be amazing. On the table are some of the ingredients we're going to be using. We got a lot of prep work though, so let's get right into it. Alright, we're going to start off with about one large white onion, and we're going to give this about a medium dice, nothing too crazy. Once it's all diced, we're going to add that right to a bowl. After our onions all taken care of, next we'll do our peppers. We got a jalapeno, some red pepper, and a yellow pepper. Where's that more of an orange pepper? Anyway, that's for some flavor, some heat, and some color. The peppers is pretty standard procedure. We're going to cut off the top, turn it, cut off the bottom. Next, we're going to cut into it and sort of roll our knife along the inside outer layer, I guess you call it. Take that pit full of seeds and toss it. And you can cut them to make them a little bit more easy to work with. Then we're going to turn these peppers, cut them into strips, then turn those strips, cut them down to a nice medium dice. Scoop your diced peppers into your bowl with your diced onions, and we're going to repeat those same steps for our red pepper and our jalapeno. Alright, you know how we do? We gotta add that celery too. So we got 2 sticks, we're gonna cut them in half. Same thing, cut them into strips, dice them, then add them to the bowl with the rest of your vegetables. Okay, our chicken, I got some skinless, boneless chicken breasts. Although in this situation, chicken thighs would probably be better and a little bit more flavorful, but chicken breasts will work just the same. We're gonna cut them into some nice sized pieces, hit them with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of seasoning, and then we're gonna go and brown these. Now keep in mind, after these are fully cooked, we're gonna cut them into bite-sized pieces and then add them back to the chili. But right now, we just wanna get some nice color on them, get them nice and brown, get some nice browning going on in the pot. Dutch oven pot, medium heat, olive oil. Then we're gonna add our chicken. After all our chicken is down, I'm gonna hit mine with a little bit more seasoning. I got some Goya adobo. After about 2 to 3 minutes per side, we're gonna give this a flip. Once it's nice and brown, 2 to 3 minutes on the other side, then we're gonna remove our chicken. Okay, and once you remove all your chicken, you see this nice browning going on in the bottom of the pot. That's exactly what you want. All that is pure flavor. That is flavor concentrated. I'm gonna add just a little bit more olive oil. Then all of our vegetables that we prepped before, right into it. A little bit more seasoning. We're gonna be seasoning every step as we go. We're gonna grab a spoon, start mixing this around, and we're gonna scrape up all of that beautiful fond on the bottom, get it nice incorporated with our onions, let them saute in it a little bit. And if you need a little bit of help, you can add some water, a little bit of white wine, or some of the chicken broth that we're going to be using later. I'm just going to use a little bit of water for now to help you scrape up that beautiful fond on the bottom. Once all your vegetables start to look like this, you know you're golden. You're ready to move on to the next step. We're going to add about 6 ounces of tomato paste. I'm going to cook that, extract even more flavor from it. After a few minutes of letting that tomato paste cook, we're going to add 4 cups of our chicken broth. Give that a nice stir. Then I'm going to add 16 ounces of white beans, drained and rinsed. Stir again. And by now, our chicken breasts are slightly cooled. So what we're going to do is just take them and cut them into nice bite-sized pieces. And snack on a few if you want. It's not going to hurt. We're We're gonna add our chicken back to our simmering pot, juices and all. Okay, now I've also been going a little bit crazy lately with these pepperoncinis, putting them in everything I cook. So I'm gonna add about 3 of these for a little bit of heat and spice and flavor. Then we're gonna add our seasonings. I got about 1/3 to 1/2 cup of chili powder, a little bit more salt and pepper, and a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder. After giving this a good stir, I'm gonna put the lid on mine, put it into a 250 degrees preheated oven, and let this cook for about 3 hours. Okay, it's been a couple of hours. Our chili is nice and thick, looking and smelling amazing. Let's go get this plated up. Okay, now for toppings, I'm gonna keep mine simple. A little bit of shredded cheddar cheese, one of those pepperoncini peppers, and some freshly diced tomatoes. And there you have it, chicken chili, made easy, made delicious, woo! Okay, so let's be honest, chicken breast is kind of boring. How do you make it less boring? Well, you can make a marinade. What type of marinade? Chili lime marinade. How are we gonna make it? Well, I'll show you how. So first thing we're gonna do is chop a jalapeno, seeds and all. Okay, and we're gonna add this to a bowl. Again, seeds and all. Next, we're gonna chop some green onions. And again, these are gonna go right into our bowl. Okay, and the last thing we're gonna chop, some cilantro. So we're gonna use about half of this into our marinade, and the rest we're gonna save as a garnish. So we'll use about half right into our bowl, other half into a separate bowl for our garnish. Last thing, 1 lime. Then we're gonna squeeze our lime right into our bowl. Other half too. Okay, next we're gonna add half a cup of vegetable oil, 1 Goya Saison packet, some dried chopped onions, generous pinch of kosher salt, and some crushed garlic. Alright, we're gonna take a whisk, give this a mix. I'm gonna add about 1/2 cup more oil. I think it needs it. And that is our chili lime marinade. We got some jalapenos, cilantro, salt and pepper, green onions, garlic, minced onions, Goya Saison, lime juice, and oil. And now we're gonna marinate our chicken in it. Okay, we got a Ziploc bag. I'm gonna place some chicken strips right into our Ziploc bag. Okay, and our amazing chili lime marinade goes right into our bag. And if you were wondering, yes, you could put the chicken directly into the bowl. We're gonna seal this up with a good mix. Okay, and then this is going directly into our fridge for about 2 to 3 hours to marinate. So we got our chicken out of the fridge. We got a cast iron skillet over medium heat. We're gonna start frying our chicken. Okay, 4 minutes on each side. Then we're gonna turn them over. Another 4 minutes on the other side. Okay, here are our chicken tenders. Last thing we're gonna do, a little bit more salt right over the top, and the rest of our cilantro. Okay, for a quick little sauce, let's do some mayo, some barbecue sauce, some Dijon mustard, a little bit of salt, and some chili powder. Just mix that up. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found something useful in this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's from me. I'm gonna finish this chicken.